Hey, it's Luke here with Foxcapes. Today we're going to be putting together a Unilock Yukara fire pit. We're going to show you guys every step we do as we go. So there's about 5 primary blocks we're building out of in the Yukara kit. The most important one is this backer block. You actually build these on the back and your Yukara panels slide right on. We got the right corner, left corner, long panel, and short panel. So our first step, and this isn't specific to Yukara, but this is specific to this job, we just want to make sure we find center. We want to center up on the Klein store. We want to center up on the patio so this fire pit looks like it's in the right spot. When I was estimating what materials we needed for this, I figured there's probably 3 or 4 different ways that you could build it to the dimension that we needed on this patio. So I took all those 3 ways, calculated all the materials that we needed on 3 separate ways, and then I just took whatever one had the most material, brought all that stuff to site, and we're going to return the leftovers to our supplier. So we just laid out what we want to be the pattern for the first row. And so this is a corner block. We want to go the exact opposite for the next row, so our corners will be nice. We don't want our corners to be the exact same. We want to go one right corner, left corner, and then right corner to make it look professional.
All right, so now we're working our way around this fire pit. We've already come up with the dimension of the inside block, which is 46 inches outside to outside. When creating the corner, you can either miter it or you can stagger your backer block. I think staggering is easier and you don't have miter cuts that can be inconsistent. So what we do is we go to the second nipple on the bottom of the backer plate and split it, split the last basically U in the bottom. This is about 3 3/4 of an inch from the outside. We mark that, we are gonna cut it, and then we take the top nipple of the backer block off so that when we set the next block, it does not get caught on the top nipple.
Anything hardscape wise, stagger is always going to be stronger. And we go ahead and we set on our panels. Like so. And this will, we'll work around that a little bit and get it to look nice, but this is an example of what the finished product is going to look like.
All right, so depending on your fire pit and burner, this is a Warming Trends burner that we're putting in this fireplace. The customer already had gas run. All we were doing is putting in the valve and the burner. So as you're building this up, I always do it in the second layer. It's a little bit lower to the ground and it's out of view, so you don't really see it. The key comes out. Some people use igniters. I personally think that can lead to failure prematurely. It's just one more component you have to think about. So we tend to just give our customers just a valve. You can purchase the flex hose at Menards, all the fittings at Menards, and then Warming Trends will send you this flex hose here that'll go into the pan. So now that we're on our second layer, we're gonna start gluing. If it's on a traditional patio, you more than likely will either glue to your base course or you'll be setting a concrete pad below. So given this situation, this is a stamped concrete patio. We don't want to get any glue on the patio, as well as with the amount of weight that we're going to be carrying, and after it's all interlocked, there isn't really concern of it moving. So like I said, we're going to get the second layer on now. We're going to glue it and then start putting on the second layer of fascia panels, and then do the same process on the third layer.
So we've made it a couple steps since our last update. Pretty simple, but since this is 3 layers high, we put glue on top of layer 1 and we put glue on top of layer 2. So this whole inner unit can be held together. And on the very top layer, we took that little nip off, because you can see this coping unit. We're gonna be putting a coping unit all around here. We want it nice and level. So we just grinded that off so we've got a nice level playing field to play with as we get towards the final steps.
right, so now the next step in this fire pit is going to be putting the cap on. We just finished up cutting the burner pan. Depending on the size of fire pit that you're going with, you might have to trim it down. In this case, we had to trim it down about 1 inch on all sides. Yeah, so now we're gonna cut the cap, get our 45s cut in, and on to gluing the final cap, and then putting the rack in.
So we're nearing the end on this build. We cut all our caps in, shimmed them all, and glued them down so they're all nice and level. We got one more step to go, and that's going to be to run the angle grinder through here so all of our cuts look consistent. And then we're going to go ahead and caulk the joints so that it looks like one finished piece. So there's it for our Yukara fire pit. We just finished caulking all the gaps. We're gonna order some blue glass to put in here to cover up that insert, and it'll be all complete. And this flame looks low right now. You could bump it up a little bit. If the client wants to, they could really have a bonfire out here, but it's nice to have that power if they want. But yeah, there's our fire pit.